Hello and welcome back to another episode of Twisted Iron Projects. Today's video, we're going to be doing yet another style of flint striker. This time we're going to get a little bit decorative and fancy with it. But to start this off, I'd also like to announce the winner of last week's flint striker, and that is Mike. Mike, on last week's video, I went ahead and replied to your comment announcing you as the winner, and with my email address saying where to get in touch with me so that I can get this shipped out to you. So make sure you respond, get in touch with me, and we'll get this shipped out for you. Congratulations on winning. But for everybody else in this video, if you want to see how to make this flint striker, make sure to stick around. Alright, so in this project we are using the same piece of garage door spring that we did for the last video. The reason why I'm using this, it's spring steel, it's fairly high carbon, it gets a pretty good spark going. But since it is in that ring, we're going to have to straighten it out just like we did on the last one. Not that too big of a deal. I utilize my horn for this, and as well as the flat side of my anvil, and say it's a pretty simple process. Just remember, you're not trying to take full heavy swings on this, you're not trying to forge it, you're just trying to straighten it out. Now that I got that taken care of, I am going to start to taper and flatten out one side of this piece. This is going to be for the scroll on the ring side of it, where your finger goes. And say this one, I'm just I am doing a little bit harder of hits. Like I said, I am trying to flatten it out, elongate it, bring it down to a slight taper. We're not doing a point, we're just doing a flat taper. Doing this not only makes it look a little bit better when you do a scroll, but it also helps you do the scroll. When you're trying to bend thicker metal, especially in a tight scroll shape, it's a little bit difficult, so you want to thin it out a little bit. Now that I got that taper finished, I could go ahead and scroll it over with my scrolling tongs. Right here I'm using a pair needle nose pliers, works just fine. A little bit of work over the side of the anvil, trying to get it fit up just the way I'd like it. However you prefer to do your scrolls, make sure you do it that way. Whatever you're comfortable with, go ahead and do that. Then we go on over to my jig. I did add a couple more pieces onto it. Sorry about the camera here. And say autofocus is nice until it wants to focus on the ground. But I'm just going to use my jig. This will get the initial curl going to the size pretty close to what I'm needing it to be. And then I'll do some fine tuning here at the anvil with it. And say this part is going to be kind of a back and forth process. So just keep working on it, keep tweaking it to how you'd like. I am trying to match it up to another one that I've done. I'd like to keep them as close to the same as possible. Then I'm going to flip around the other direction from where I turned it last time. I'm going to try to get the same size curve into this end. We will be closing this up later on. This just helps me get that initial curve to where I want it to be. Here we are doing the tweaking, fine tuning, getting it to fit the size that I want. And say utilize all sides of your anvil. I'm really liking this anvil that I got from an NC Tool Company. That will be a video that I make here coming soon, because I have just celebrated 6 months with this anvil. So I'm very happy with it. It's great to use. Keep using any surface of the anvil you can, or your striking surface. Now here I am just trying to flatten it out. It gives it a little bit more of a refined look and adds a little bit of rigidity into those curved sections. And it gives me a lot of places where I could put my touch marks, so that's always pretty nice. Just continue to flatten it out, make sure that it's all the even thickness and width. Make everything nice, smooth, and easy transitions. Make sure you line everything up, get it looking the way you want it to, before we go into the heat treat part of this. So for the heat treating, when I'm working with the spring steel from the garage door springs, I do like to normalize it a couple times, put it in the fire, bring it up to heat, and then let it cool slowly. I do about 2 times, and that just kind of helps everything relax and doesn't cause stress fractures. Now for the heat treat, I did bring it up to above non-magnetic on the striking face, and then I do edge quench that striking face of it. So I'm not trying to do a full-on quench on the entire piece, because that'll make the rings a little bit brittle and have the chance of it breaking. So I just do the face. Then I go ahead and do a little bit of grind work on it, just the flat there on the face. Treat it with a little bit of beeswax, and there you see, she sparks pretty darn well. So there you have it. This is a fancier version of a Flint striker from Garage Door Spring. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next video. Stay classy, party on.